Welcome to Japan Snowboarder. I'm your host Ken, where people call me Ken-san here in Furano, Hokkaido, Japan. Today's episode's on the BURTON Family Tree Moon Buggy. This is a board I did a rider's review on recently, and today we're going to discuss the attributes of this board and talk about the differences between the 158 and the 168. So sit back and enjoy the show. The Moon Buggy was inspired by the Japanese riders of BURTON who are looking for a board which is surfy in the deep powder here in Japan. This board comes in a 158 and 168. Looking at the shape, it has a very wide nose, very wide waist and a wide tail, which is good for float. This board has a directional camber profile, which means the stance is set back just a few centimeters and is meant to be ridden generally in one direction. With the directional camber, it's got camber from here to here, and it actually has a rocker nose from here to here, starting from in front of your front foot. What that means is when you apply pressure to your feet, it gives lift in the nose. However, I don't think there's that much lift in the nose. What's super special about this board is its 3D swallowtail top, where it's a swallowtail that's actually filled in and it has a channel running down the middle of the tail. This provides the tail with a similar flex to a swallowtail, where the torsional flex in the tail is really soft. The filled-in swallowtail, however, has the added advantage of being able to take drops, ollie, ride switch and do ground tricks, making this board way more playful and versatile. The flex in this board is about a 7 out of 10, 1 being super soft and 10 being stiff. But one difference in this board is the torsional flex in the tail. It is really soft and you'll feel that when you're doing your turns in the powder. On the 168, you'll really notice the tail on this board steering the bigger board. Now this board comes in a 158 and 168. Now let's discuss the differences between these two lengths. For me, I felt like these became two very different boards. I first rode the 168. This is a big board for big turns, both in the powder and on piste. I felt the 168 glided so nicely in the deep powder in the big open terrain. However, moving around the tight trees was a little difficult. I felt like the whole board flexes nicely with my big turns in the open powder. As a surfer, this felt like a longboard, and with this longer board, you're really steering it out of the tail with its soft torsional flex. Once you're out of the trees and back on piste, the 168 carves really well and felt super stable. When you don't have much speed on a flatter groomer, it's hard to get from edge to edge with the wider board. The bigger board is great for slashing powder around the resort, but it's not that playful on groomers as it's super long and stiff. Now let's discuss the 158. With the shorter length, it has a shorter side cut radius, which means it's good for short, quick turns. I really enjoyed this both on the groomers and also in the trees. The shorter length of this board makes this board playful, where you can do ollies, ride switch and do ground tricks. I rode the 158 in some springtime powder and slush, and you can really feel the flex in the tail. It's got a really unique feel to the board. Another thing about the 158, it is quick and responsive. What myself and others have found is that when you're in the deep powder on this board with its reference stance, you do need to lean back a lot more to keep that nose above the powder. With a regular swallowtail, the tail will just naturally sink, giving lift in the nose. One thing you can do to overcome this is to set the stance slightly further back. I recommend the 168 Moon Buggy for advanced expert riders looking for a big board for deep powder days. And I recommend the 158 to anyone from intermediate to expert powder riders. If you're looking for a first powder board, then this could be a good option at the 158 as it would be similar length to your regular snowboard and also has camber, which you're probably used to. The 158 is a surfy, fun, versatile all-round powder board for hitting the resorts of Japan. And the 168 is an awesome powder board for hitting the deep powder in Japan in big open terrain. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed and got something out of this review of the BURTON Family Tree Moon Buggy. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Rhythm Furano for lending me this board. They have a great range of powder boards for rent here in Furano. If you want to see more reviews like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to say hi or leave a comment, please do so down below. And if you're coming to Furano and the Central Hokkaido region, check us out at furanosnowtours.com for local guides with local knowledge. Until next time, mata ne.
いいね。超いい。ああ、よっしゃ。Yeah, yeah. So.